Hello, welcome back to Fallen Angel Spirits. Today we're going to be making some apple pie moonshine. Everybody does it, but you know what? Not everybody knows how to do it, so why not just throw a couple of quick recipes together. I'm not going to be doing a lot of measuring. We're going to be just pouring and see what happens. Done a lot of this in the past, so kind of know what I'm going to be putting in it, what I'm not going to be putting in it. If you do want recipes, they're all over the internet. Let's go from there. So the first one we're going to make is pretty simple. Start with apple juice. I don't go out and buy the expensive stuff. It's all generic. Now the original recipe that I wanted to use was using concentrate apple juice. Couldn't find it anywhere. For some reason it's nowhere to be found on the shelves. I'm going to save a little bit of that. I'm also going to pour just a little bit of apple cider mix into this. Not a whole lot into this one. This is just a simple basic one. If I had the concentrated apple, I wouldn't be using apple cider at all in this one. But I want to add a little extra flavor to it. Yeah, go a little more. That'll work. Alright, we'll come back to that one for the other recipe. What else do I want to add to this? 2 pounds of brown sugar. Already measured it out. I wanted to put this in first and I forgot. Now it's probably going to splash on me. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to put a dash of apple pie spice into this. Not a lot. It doesn't take much at all. I didn't have any of this on hand, so I had to go get some. So now I'm going to take this lid off. No one now, that'll work. Child proof is more like adult proof. I'm sorry, taking too long. Yeah, it'll work out though. Alright, put a dash of that in there. Or a pinch, however you know it as. That'll work. Keep this around. It can be used for many different things. I also want to add a little bit of dried ginger in it. This one I had, and my wife had. This is organic. I kind of like the organic better than anything with chemicals in it. Oh, that smells good. I love the smell of ginger. And we want to add some cinnamon sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are shorter than I like to use. I'm going to put a couple more in there. That's all there is to it. Heat it up. You're going to let it simmer for about an hour. So we'll just set that one up here. Second recipe. This one is pretty much all apple cider. Oh, vanilla bean. I forgot to put vanilla bean in the other one. 1 vanilla bean. Right here. You could throw the whole bean in. I'm going to chop it or cut it into 3 parts. Mostly due to the fact that you have a skin here. And it's hard to pull the extract out of that for such a short amount of time. Well, you want to get a lot of that flavor into what you're making. So I'm going to cut it into 3 parts and it'll pull some of the vanilla straight out from the end of this instead of trying to pull it all out through the husk or the bean shell, whatever you want to call that. Throw that into there. Alright, second one. Back to that one. This one, I'm going to put the brown sugar in first this time. 2 cups. I'm going to put just a little bit more. This is what's left over from what I had. Sounds like somebody's hunting outside. So we're going to put that in first so we don't splash. So I'm adding just a hair more than what it calls for, 2 cups. Pretty close. Either sighting in the rifle or got a deer. They're sighting in the rifle. Sorry about all that noise. It's interesting to me. Okay, where was I? Brown sugar, I put in a little bit more than 2 cups because I want to sweeten up the apple cider. Apple cider can be kind of bitter. Yeah, I don't like the bitterness myself, but I like the flavor, so I added a little bit more brown sugar to that one. You can also add a little bit of white sugar. I'm not going to do that to this. Done it before. This is the first time I'm not using it. So again, trial and error. See what happens. Looking out the window there, and I'm seeing some snow flurries. But I'm going to save a little bit of that too. If we don't use it later, I got grandchildren, maybe they want to have some apple cider without alcohol. Obviously, do not give your children alcohol. Okay, so this one, we're using more of whole products. Again, 1 vanilla bean, chop it up, same reason. Put them in. I'm using real ginger. I've already cut it up. Just a couple small slices. A little bit of ginger goes a long ways when you're using real ginger. Okay. Cinnamon sticks, nutmeg. I'm going to use whole nutmeg on this. Grind it up. My nut's getting a little bit small. Again, on all this stuff, it doesn't take a lot. I do like the taste of nutmeg myself, so I am going to do a little bit of extra on that one. There they go again. It's a nice thing to have around. Use it for everything. Really like hot chocolate. Put a little whipped cream on top of that. Nutmeg on top of that. God, that is good stuff. Alright, I think we got that. You know what, I'm just going to, it's pretty small. I'm just going to toss it in. See what we get. Now we got that. I'm going to add, again, cinnamon sticks. There's 4, 6, 8. I'm going to go 9 on this one. And I'm also going to add one other thing that I've never done before, but I happen to see it on one of the shows that I watch. Anise, star anise. Gives a tiny bit of a licorice flavor, not too bad as long as you don't put too much in. Oh, I didn't open that on up prior to this either. There we go. Alright, for the show that I was watching, he put 2 of these in, and his explanation was quite well. If I can remember, I am going to put the site down below in the comment section on why he uses this. I really liked what he did, and oh, that smells good. We're going to try it, see what happens. Never done it before, and I kind of really think it's going to taste good. Now, the one thing that I wanted to put into this was clove. I didn't have any clove. I thought I did, and I didn't want to run all the way to town. I just kind of got lazy. So we're doing this without clove. Clove does give a really nice flavor to this. It's kind of almost like a neutral flavor, numbing. It kind of numbs down the alcohol that this is going to go into. And I am going to be using a very high spirit alcohol, and would kind of calm it down, I guess, is what you'd call it. So that is everything that I wanted to put into that one. Like I said, it's pretty simple. I don't remember what this goes to. It goes to that. Okay. Sorry, I don't like having messes around me. I'm going to clean up a little bit as I'm going here. It's kind of a waste of your time, but it's all a part of what you're doing. Clean up. Don't want to have garbage everywhere. All right, so we got both of these. So I'm going to turn these up to high just to get them going. And I'm going to keep an eye on this for a while. Once it gets going good, I just want to turn it down to a simmer. So we just want to simmer that for about an hour. Make sure to stir these up good. Get it all mixed in. Get that sugar mixed in. I'll stir them up a little bit more off camera. Smoking a little bit. Thought I cleaned that off a little better. So you can see a little smoke coming off my heat plate here. Got a little sugar on it. Yeah, maybe I'll... What the heck is on there? Yeah, it's got sugar on it. We'll let that burn off. Might affect the video a little bit. We can deal with that. Add a little fun to the video, I guess. Okay, got that going. Gonna let that sit for a while. Get it simmering. I will stir it in a little bit. Well, actually, what I want to do is talk about something else, so I better stir that sugar in just a little bit better. Don't want to scorch into the bottom. Make sure to keep continuously stirring it for that hour. Just come back to it every now and then. Okay. So recently I just found out that somebody wants to get into running a still from watching a couple of my shows. I've only done 2 of them so far. Super excited for them, but I haven't gone over some stuff that they should know. So I'm going to go over that right now. When you're making your runs, you've got methanol and ethanol. Methanol is the very first thing that comes off of your still. You do not want to drink that. You do not want any part of that. This is a jar I named Junk. Wrote methanol on it. Yeah, I think I'll come back to that. It's going to make an awful lot of noise while we're trying to record. Get that off of there. There is a certain percent, depending on what the amount that you're doing, that you want to take off. I did 15 gallons of a mash, and this is what I pulled off. I don't need that much pulled off, but I'm not chancing it. This is just something you do not want to drink. It kind of brings you into hangovers. If you might be out drinking with some buddies, having a good time, having some nice mixed drinks using cheap alcohol. Well, you wake up in the morning, you got a hangover. It's because this stuff is mass-produced, and they don't take all of this off. This gives you a nasty hangover. Not all hangovers are because of that. You do get some good alcohol that doesn't have that. Could be a hangover of dehydration. Drink a lot, you're not drinking enough waters, get dehydrated, well, you have a pretty bad headache in the morning. So, take this stuff off. Like I said, I did a 15-gallon, and this is what I pulled off. That leads us into the next part. This jar I keep around for the heads. The heads is something that I don't drink or use. This still might have a little bit of methanol in it, but that's the second part that comes off of the still. The third part's going to be the hearts. This is a jar of hearts. This is going to be the third part. This is where you're going to start keeping what you're pulling off. Flavor-wise, that you're looking for the best flavors, not a lot of burning, many other things, which when we do run make a run, I should say, when we do make that run, we'll go over a lot of this then. I just want to kind of go over the parts you're looking for, because you might jump into this a little quicker than you should, and I just wanted to hurry up and go through a bit of this. Third part, this one I did on purpose. This is your tails. I don't know if you can see this. It's not clear. It's murky, a little oily. This is your tails. This is going to have a nasty taste, stench, a stench to it that is just not appealing at all. You don't want this part. The hearts is what you're going for. The heads, I have a bigger jar of this because I keep the heads off of everything and just add it up into big jars, and I'll do a heads run later on, or maybe I'll add this into the next run that I do. So these are the these are the two main parts you don't want, and that's the part you do want to keep. The number one main part, you do not want methanol. Get rid of it. Write the junk cleaner, whatever, on a jar, and put it aside. Don't get it mixed up with any of the stuff that you're doing here. It's good for starting fires too. Makes a nice flame. So I wanted to go over that with you real quick. I know it has nothing to do with the show we're doing today, but again, I had just recently found out that somebody was going to start doing this that doesn't have enough knowledge on what he's doing, so I wanted you to at least know this. Do your research before you get started. Again, keep watching me. I'm going to show you how to do different mashes, things you can do. Hopefully you don't get turned off by what you get, but definitely do some research. Watch a lot of YouTube shows. Bearded and Bored, one of my favorites. That guy he's kind of like me. He wants to just see if it'll work, if it don't work. I have an understanding. He did a show, and I haven't found it yet or watched it, where he mashed a turkey leg. I don't know what he got out of it, but I want to find out. Okay, so we're going to put this all aside, and I'm going to come back to you when we got this simmering, show you a little bit of that, and we'll see you then. Okay, so we're not simmering yet, but I forgot something I wanted to do. I'm going to show you one other thing that I am going to attempt. Shoot. Be right back. I got to get players. Okay. So in one of the jars that I'm going to do, I want to try to add a little bit of an extra smoky flavor to it. So I'm going to try something here. I've seen it in a couple of things that I've watched. Never really said whether it worked or not, so I want to find out if it works. I need to clean up. There goes our guns again. So what I'm doing is I'm going to burn some wood here. This is oak, same oak I've been using. And I want to char this really good, and I want it to start smoking. So what I'm doing is I'm going to get this smoking really good. I want to put it in a jar, put the lid on it, and I want it to just fill that jar full of smoke. And what's going to happen is it's going to put a layer of smoke on the edge of the jar that I'm going to transition that smoky flavor from the edge into the product that I'm putting in there. I don't know if it's going to work, what it's going to do, but it was interesting and I definitely want to try it. There we go. And while we're letting all this run, we're going to let this fill up with smoke and just really give that a good coating. It's going to coat the side here, bottom, top, and we're going to put our apple pie moonshine into this. Once we get it in, and we're going to give it a good shake and just get all that smoky flavor off the edges and mix it in. So we'll let that sit there. Okay, so our hour is now up. I've also given it a little time to cool off a little bit. It's not scalding hot by any means. I did leave it somewhat hot because I want that to help blend everything together once I pour it into the alcohol, which is considerably cold. So let's get started. One thing I did do to funnel, I got some cheesecloth on it. Just use some tape around the funnel to help hold the cheesecloth in place. It's painter's tape, is what I had on hand. Don't look the greatest. It works. Use what you got. Alright, the reason for the cheesecloth is we got a lot of big stuff in here. We don't want that going in. You do want some of the smaller stuff, some of the spices to get in there. But that's, for the most part, just get the bigger stuff out. Oh, the spirit that I'm using on this for the apple is it's 180 no, it's not 180. 80% alcohol. Put a lesser amount in. I put about this much in. The reason for that is you don't want it overwhelming. Should explain a little bit about the proofing it down. Basically, is what you're doing. So if you got 100% alcohol, you want 40%. By the time you're done, you would say, here's your half point. That'd be 50% alcohol you'd want in there, but you want 40%, you'd bring it down to about here. Now, being this is apple, not quite as strong as the apple cider, I went with an 80 proof. This is just a straight corn mix and doesn't need to be super strong, so I put a little less in. And yes, my funnel is sterile and clean. This smells wonderful. If I could get my wife to come out here, she'd probably be shocked. It doesn't smell like sour mash or anything like that in here right now. It's actually a quite wonderful smell. I got that just about right. So these are going to be giveaways. This isn't something that I'm keeping for myself. So what I went out and did is got some fancy lids, white to go with checkered. Not something I would choose for myself, but hey, it's nice. It's a gift. Now I am going to also add cinnamon stick to each one of these. And yes, my hands are clean as well. What you can do is also put a slice of apple in. I'm undecided whether or not I am going to do that. I don't know how soon they're going to be drank. It adds flavor, but also it looks nice. If they don't drink it right away, those apples are going to look like shrunken heads after a while. Okay. It's a good thing I got 2 packages. There's not many in there. Now, if you're making this for yourself, you can drink it right away. Might have a little bit of a bitter taste to it. If you let it sit overnight, good 24 hours, that's where you're really going to get all your flavors mixing well and not so much of a bitter taste. Give it a good shake, get it all mixed up. Now, these ones here, this is a run that I did not too long ago. This is, it was an experiment of mine. It was an oatmeal run. I did oatmeal, corn, and that was basically it. I put amylase in it because I wanted to find out what kind of taste I was going to get just from the oatmeal and a little bit of corn. It's quite nice. Very oat-backed flavor. Really liked it. I'm going to probably do another one of them, and I'll show you how to do it. This one I'm going to put aside. That's the smoke jar. Now, there it is. So this is the apple cider. This one went just a little bit over half. This is 75% alcohol. But I went a little over half on this one because I think all the flavors in an apple cider are going to really mask the strength of the alcohol itself. This alcohol also is one of them that doesn't have a major bite to it. I guess most people would understand. Always remember, don't do this just to get drunk. This mix that I'm doing is for social drinking. Friends and family get together, have a couple of drinks. Maybe a gathering at Christmas, Thanksgiving, and you're going to sit around, Thanksgiving football game on, you're going to sit around and watch that. Don't want to get drunk, you got the kids around. That's where I put a little aside so they can have some cider as well. But always social drink. Don't just go out and get drunk. It ain't worth it in the morning. I did taste this before I put it in, because I wanted to know what that star anise was going to do. That really did add a very good flavor to it. It's just a hint of licorice, and just wonderful taste. Well worth trying. I'm glad I tried that. Okay, the rest of this is going into this big jar. This is the one I'm going to keep. These are gifts. I'm keeping that one. Now this one here, I did a lot of the natural stuff, so the cheesecloth is starting to get a little harder for everything to go through, taking a little bit more time. Looks very nice. Sorry about that. this one, I'm also going to put one of these stars right back into there. And again, cinnamon stick in each. Could do the apple if you wanted. I didn't leave much room in those for apples, so I don't think I'll be doing apples. Big one, I think I'm going to put a couple cinnamon sticks in that one. Perfect. And that smoked one, I'm going to do... I went and got a different spirit for that one. I got plenty of it around, got plenty to play with. But most everything I have has somewhat of a smoke flavor to it. Whether it just came out of what I was using or I used something with peat in it. But I wanted something that was more plain. That one that I did is a malt and corn, a flaked corn. I believe the malt was, I think it was barley. Okay, that one I don't have. So that's the one I'm doing the experiment on. I want to try to put a smoked flavor into that by putting smoke in the jar, letting it coat the sides. So I wanted to use something that had absolutely no smoke flavor to it. And that's what I chose. I'm also going to be doing the apple juice in that one because I think the smoked flavor will add to the apple juice a little bit better than the apple cider. Might be a little hard to see, but the apple cider is considerably more cloudy than the apple juice. Let's not get them mixed up. Okay, so let's go to this one. My charred wood, any extra little pieces, which ain't gonna hurt. That one is for me anyways. Now what I do with that right there. Yeah, it got a little messy, so I'm going to be making a bit of a mess. Which is why you keep rags around. This is 140 proof, 70% alcohol. I think I'm going to do a half and half mix on this one. Close enough. Get all that smoky flavor in there. Why didn't that seal? That did not seal. I'm going to use a different one on there. Okay, let's put in our apple juice. Moonshine. Kind of love that word. You know what I did? I mixed them up. This is the apple cider. It's okay though. And put a cinnamon stick in there. Now, why did that leak? It happens once in a while. Makes a mess too. Well, I'm not going to be giving that one away. I don't need anything fancy on it. Much better. Now, I am curious. I want to know how it tastes. Let's try it out. Got a very nice color to it. Almost like a smoked whiskey. Actually, you can smell a little smoke in that. Oh yeah, that is good. Well, everyone, have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you next time.